the key, is this practice. Practice makes perfect, and that's the truth. When we say words like talent, talent is an excuse that ordinary people use to understand why they're not where someone else is. That's really what that is. It's really practice makes
That's
perfect.
deep, bro. Wow.
It's an excuse that ordinary people use, and ordinary people come in all shapes and sizes. There are people you know as tall as LeBron that are nowhere near the NBA, and there are people who are as short as Steph Curry just hitting every single three from wherever they want. And when people are saying, well, Steph Curry's dad was in the NBA, that's an excuse because it's not like we're checking for Jordan's kids. That's not the case, and he was the best. So what does it mean when Corey speaks about it? He's talking about practice. And I say this personally because actually, if for those who actually know me, I'm an introvert myself. I'm actually not a person who's always extroverted. I like to be alone. I like to be in silence. The way I did it was practice. I took those same speech classes that Corey was referring to in high school, going into college, realizing as I watched interview after interview, the athletes that were the most successful were the ones who also communicated their success. If you ever watch a Michael Jordan interview, you'll see there's not only a level of confidence, but a level of intellectual understanding that he's expressing to that camera. And it wasn't always that way. If you watch the older interviews from UNC, you'll see a very different Michael Jordan. It took training. The same practice that a lot of athletes take for granted is the same practice that gets you that starting role. And that's why it just takes practice. The way that I'm able to speak and articulate myself at this time is through practice. It's through reading, it's through watching other people's interviews, it's through getting on stage and making those mistakes myself, because the truth is success is never final, right? And failure is never fatal. It's the courage to continue, that counts the most. And that's the courage that you'll see in the truest of champions. It's the ones that we talk about amongst ourselves when we talk about who's the greatest of all time. When we have those conversations, we're not always measuring the stats. It's not always the things that you can see. Oftentimes, it's the intangible qualities, the certain je ne sais quoi of certain people that we're taking into account even more. And that quality is something that all of you have within. All of you have the ability and what we call the quote unquote talent. Now, as Corey put it, it's about the practice. And practice goes back to the original conversation. It's simply a decision. It's the willingness to want. And when you will yourself to want, you can achieve anything you put your mind to.
Amen. Anything.
You can can be on billboards and have shoes and not even be in the NBA. That would be if someone told you that, you'd be like, that's impossible. And yet you're looking at someone who has achieved just that, who achieved global recognition and global respect through reputation. And how did Corey do it? Simply by wanting it, the willingness to want. I am going to be a star. That sentence started it all. No, but that's the thing. You was kind, you was smart, you was important. Just look at
positive
yourself.
repetition.
And it's honestly positive reaffirmations, positive repetition, but also practice making perfect and practice being a success. We've all seen way too many careers ruined, and they're not ruined by external factors, but by internal doubts, internal bad decisions. We've seen that time and time again, whether it's drunk driving, when you're like, but you're wealthy. You're rich. Why didn't you just get an Uber? Whether it's the decision to drive drunk, the decision to break rules, the decision not to be on top. Those are the things that matter the most. Like, it's all about those choices and decisions.